session now.
Oh, you're expecting to have a one-to-one with him?
Yes,
You've dropped into my meeting.
really.
Yeah, I'm having a live meeting now.
My God, that's very funny anyway.
Which link did you click on exactly?
Tobias nonduality.com. Then I went directly to join Zoom and then the blue button.
Yeah, you might have clicked on the wrong link, I'm afraid.
Okay. But it's been a gift to see you
Oh
once more.
well, likewise. Yeah, I'm yeah, I'm quite stunned actually.
Me too. Me too, because I try with Tobias and I find you all the time.
That's that's really funny.
I, I'm trying to escape you in every possible way, and you reappear all the time.
Oh my. You can't
So
escape the mother,
that,
huh?
that's the point. That's the point. So now I get out from here and I try to click there is another join Zoom button with him.
Yeah, go make sure you're clicking on his meeting, not our meeting.
Okay.
I think you've gone to the no-show meeting and click that Zoom, which is obviously mine. If you go to his Tuesday and Thursday page and click
Okay.
on that blue button, I know it's a bit confusing. If you click
Okay.
on that one, it should take you to his personal meeting room, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, this has been a gift
Well,
to see you.
likewise.
Yeah.
Likewise.
So many kisses and see you very soon.
Okay, love. Yeah, I'll see you soon. Don't
Ciao.
escape me. Don't escape me for too long, huh?
No, no, I can't.
All right, lots of love. Enjoy the one-to-one. See you soon. Welcome, everybody, to this hybrid stream. We will get started very, very shortly. Just updating a few technical thingies on YouTube. Nice to see you all here on the two different platforms, as it were. And yet, the exposure would seem to suggest that there is no platform, that there is no realm, that there is no dimension without separation. An incomprehensible and dynamic uttering and pointing out of what is already inseparably free and boundlessly whole. No edge, no limitation, just this, just this, absolutely timelessly this, deliciously this. It's unfathomable in its embrace. It's completely total, so total that it's unknowable. And it can't really be talked about, therefore, in its totality, the nature of this immediacy and this totality. No word authentically utters that. It's so indescribable. It can't be objectified. What we're exploring here is the unfathomable embrace that everything is this and this is everything. So yeah, indescribable, and yet talking and listening appears to be happening. And that's just the freedom, of course. There's no sense that any wrong or right word can be uttered around or about this. And so, in its freedom, this can't go wrong or right. There's no getting this. There's no mistaking this or avoiding or abiding, really. There's nothing to avoid and there's nothing to abide in. There's nothing to retreat to and there's nothing to advance to. It's just absolutely directionless. And all of that may seem very abstract and obscure, but it's too simple for comprehension, actually. So it's just this immediacy of whatever appears to be happening. And so if it appears to be sitting and listening to a YouTube stream with someone on the screen talking about this and that, that's just this. That's just what appears to be happening. And if it's going for a walk or having a cup of tea or coffee or whatever else. It's only ever what appears to be happening. And the only way in which that wouldn't seem to be the case is if a storytelling came in, which there's nothing wrong or right with that either. But it's only in the storytelling that that doesn't seem to be the case. The stories that would suggest that there is something else other than this, or that there's something else other than what appears to be happening, that there is a destination to move towards, a time and a place to move towards, a direction and a path, a journey to be trodden, continuity essentially. The stories of continuity, the stories of past, present, and future, and me in the middle, and the here and the there, and all of those dimensional things. But without that storytelling energy, and I use the word energy purposely because it's not some kind of cognitive appearance that we could just disassemble through talking about it, but the energetic quality of the story of me and my life, my past, my future, my autonomy, my individuality, my identities, all of those things that seem to be owned, known, and related to, the apparent exposure of that is a total unfathomable compassion that leaves no direction or destination. And it doesn't leave a here and a now either. It completely strips away all of these ideas and notions about what this is, where it came from, where it's going. And there's no intention to correct anything, even though it sounds like in the exposure something is being made clear. But it is just a pointing out, really. It's a pointing out of what is already. And in that can be a basking, really. And I know that that sounds like a process, it always will, to conditioned ears that live in and as a reality of going or coming or becoming. But really, I'm talking about basking as something absolutely timeless. The basking in this, as this, with this, so to speak. But basking is not going anywhere. In a way, it's kind of the slowing or even the stopping of this kind of cog-like wheel turning energy of something going and changing and shifting, etc. But I don't know why, but for some reason I just really like to use the word basking. Like there's this kind of bathing in this unknowability, this childlike wonder, which was never separate, it was never apart. It was never not anything other than what simply appears to be happening. And I would furthermore suggest that that's unconditional love. Yeah. Basking in unconditional love. And apparently, in the timeless time of this, it can just simply seem apparent without any specialness attached to it. But it can just seem apparent that there is no one to be basking. There is no one to be finding or revealing, discovering, becoming, achieving, attaining. Just basking. All that's left is basking. Timeless basking. Spaceless basking. It's not conscious either. It's not in any way definable. So even the word basking falls short. But for the sake of conversing and talking, it's simply basking, bathing. And that is what I would suggest nirvana and samadhi really means. Not with some kind of glorified connotation of specialness or bliss. It's unpolarized. It doesn't stand out. It's not something that anyone ever gets to know about or achieve. It is all by itself this total appearance, without there being someone within it. It's complete and whole and free. It never needed anything from anyone. It never needed or desired or demanded anything. It's too natural for any kind of process or application to get involved. Those things can happen. Exercises and practices may appear. The simple joy of the celebration and expression of bodies, dancing and yoging and singing, praying, whatever. It's just what is. I just don't see any obstacle to this, really. There's no obstacles or hurdles to what is absolute. Only relative things appear to have things in the way and destinations to reach, but we're talking about the absolute, the unconditional. That can't possibly be navigated, negotiated with, moved towards or away from. It's too total and whole for any kind of application, navigation, negotiation, journey, or destination. It's already everything. It's total. It's this. It's absolutely, abundantly this. So there we are. Let's have a chat. Let's play. Let's not take any of this too seriously. We're here to chat and have fun. And yeah, just bask in the unknowability. Yeah. There's no one right or wrong. There's nothing to prove. There's nothing to be. Nothing is required. It's just this. Yeah.
Hi, Alexis.
Philip, my dear,
Mm.
it's so lovely to see you.
It's been too long.
Yeah.
Been too
How
long.
are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, and on my screen I see you and my friend Sundar
Yes,
listening to
I
Duality.
also, yes, I also would like to say a very big hello and lots of love to Sundar as well. Yes.
Yeah. Uh, I just feel love
Yeah.
and gratitude. Yeah. I'm here with my fur babies, my dog and my cat.
Oh
So
my, you really are in heaven, huh? Lots of lovingness going on all around.
But we were just kind of hanging out watching TV, and I just felt like join the Zoom, join the Zoom. So, anyways, here I am, and I just love your videos. Every night, if I'm cleaning dishes or cutting vegetables or whatnot, it's just you're with me. You're with me throughout the day. You're just so articulate, so clear, so loving, so wonderful, and for whatever it's worth, I'm just so very grateful. Yeah.
Thanks, love. I'm so glad that you joined us and said, hey.
Yeah. And Tobias, I'm like happy for Tobias, because I remember listening and hearing him. He reminds me of the actor Jeffrey Rush, a little bit, from
Oh,
the pianist, the pianist. But I remember like I guess a year ago hearing him on some of the Zoom calls and oh, he sounds just like Jeffrey Rush. Anyways, I'm so happy that he just looks so radiant and it's so
yeah.
fun to watch the two of you and yeah, he comes through with some really nice things as well. And so the other night somebody was saying that you are like mother and father and
Oh, yeah. That was
that's so
funny.
beautiful. So beautiful. Yeah, it's so great. So I'm so happy for him and for you.
Oh,
Yeah, it's great.
well, thank you. Yeah.
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 Okay, I'll mute again and maybe come back. Thank
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
you.
Hey Alexis, good to see you.
Hi, love. Good to see you too.
Yeah. I'd love to chat with you. So nice. I was thinking about this. I don't know who said this story or an analogy
Mm.
of imagine all the kids going in a toy train the toy train is going in a circle and everybody is having a steering wheel in their hands. Yeah. All the kids are having fun, like they're doing everything, and when the train turns, they imitate everything. And then, uh, but then the message is that's the illusion that you are doing it. And the
Uh-huh.
person is doing it is the illusion while the train is going on its own.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's how it feels like. Even, sometimes when you're driving a car, you're not driving it, let's say somebody else is driving a car, you're
Mm.
sitting in the passenger seat,
Yes.
and when there is something coming in front, your whole being wants to stop the car somehow, like
Mm. Mm.
energetically.
Mm.
And it's so real, this energy in the body, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking about. Like this tension in the body is an illusory person who believes he needs to run the show,
Right.
and it believes in it so much, uh, and it is there. Is it the tension that appears out of this illusion? Like, um, I'm just trying to ask is, when the awareness collapses, okay, would there be still this tension in the body, like trying to do the things or navigate things in a certain way, or it's all just happening? What is your take on that?
Yeah, it really seems like, and I know we've talked about this before to some extent, that they're in this particular sense of embodiment, this perception of feeling viscerally wound up, not wound up in an agitated way, although that can appear, but a visceral embodied quality of feeling located comes with it the perception of awareness and the awareness of autonomy, like the sense of autonomy rather, and the feeling of being here. And also there's kind of like in that too a tenseness which feels present and now. And so all those perceptions, four of them mainly, seem to be they're not actually really separate perceptions. They are all the same energy. And as though this kind of visceral quality, which seems so solid, as you say, as though that it just isn't there, that there isn't a sense of continuity, there isn't a sense of here, there isn't a sense of awareness, and there isn't a sense of autonomy. They all disappear. And what's so apparent is that they never were actual realities. They never were the way this natural reality is. It was just, in a way, confused. It was the total appearance seeming to feel confused, misinterpreted as a continuous reality, a located reality, a separate reality, a conscious reality, and an autonomous reality. And all of that just kind of collapses, really. And the natural reality is so whole that all of those dualistic paradigms just they don't really compute. They don't really register as ever actually happening, as they never really happened. They certainly didn't happen the way they seemed to. Yeah. And yeah, I would suggest like when the body is driving, just as an example, like there will be moments in the day, so to speak, which of course implies time, but there we are. There will be moments in the day where it just isn't there. There just isn't anyone there. It's just there's just the movements of the body, so to speak, and the functions. There's the basic practical needs and wants of the body, preferences, and then in comes this perception, and it seems like it's so present, so real, so solid, so aware, so in control, and it just is kind of like an illusory echo. Yeah. That's how it seems to be. One of the amusing sort of revelatory appearance of this is that, oh no, oh dear, I am not in the driver's seat. And wait a minute, I'm not even in the passenger seat. Like I'm not even watching, I'm not even sitting back and just allowing the ride to ride itself, you know. Like it may feel like there's a bit of a dance between moving into the driver's and the passenger seat. Like sometimes I feel like I'm in charge, I'm controlling, I'm here overseeing, and and then maybe I just feel like I'm still here, but I'm kind of a little bit less active or something. And the impersonal revelation is that there's no one in either. There's no one in the passenger seat, the driver's seat, the back seat. There's no one in the boot. There's no one, hanging on top or underneath. It's like, and then what's extended even more, as though we could just really milk that metaphor, is that the car doesn't even exist because there's not a separate thing called a vehicle that is driving itself, because that too would sound subjective somehow, yeah, or objective. And what's revealed is that without separation, there are no things actually happening. Yeah, and that's the dynamic openness of this. But that's just too wide open for any kind of comprehension, it would seem. See, what people. Oh yeah, are you going to say something, Sundar? I can answer YouTube in a minute.
This the tension in the body, let's say, like if this is not there, the center of being, like
The center of being.
the local, like the pain of being, it's me doing it, it's happening to me. These feelings won't become unbearable, then there won't be a person going towards seeking for liberation. I want to get rid of this pain. I want to get rid of these feelings which are not bearable, which I cannot tolerate in the body. Then it puts us on a seeking path and look for relief. And now in the last conversation, we drew two parts of this, like, okay, there is like if I have a neck pain or a back pain, obviously I go for a massage, or maybe I take a painkiller to feel relief from that. And there is also, I can go for a therapy to release the patterns which I have accumulated, maybe the sense of unworthiness or these things, which also melts the sense of me in that sense. It's happening. There is a wounded me which can be healed, but still there is a me there. There is an individual. And my question was again the same thing, like what I am asking. So when these things happen, like when there is the me collapses, okay, and when these patterns, do you say that there is no, last time what you said is like there is nobody taking it, there is no one here to receive these things. But what about the body or the psyche that has these patterns in them? Like, let's say a person who is greedy, would he still remain to be greedy? Or he turns out like, no, it doesn't apply because there is no one here to take something. Or to keep it in a nutshell, like, do you think the world will be a better place when there are all dead people?
Yeah, it seems to be a popular question, and unfortunately, there is no satisfying answer to that. There's no right or wrong answer to that because it's speculation for a start. There's no way of knowing what might happen or what might not happen if more and more bodies leave this illusion behind, so to speak. There would possibly be less confusion, like in the sense of there being me and you and how we all relate to each other as separate people. Like it would seem plausible just to entertain that a little bit. It would seem plausible that there would be less game playing going on. Game playing in the sense of what's in it for me, um, and what I can give to you or take from you. Like there's this kind of transactional energy on the existential sense of seeking for a better experience, which can often lead to a lot of confusion and suffering. Um, However, there is still pain and there is still conflict. Um, so it's not like a solution to every imaginable situation. So it's not, again, it's not a satisfying answer because it's not like all problems go away. It's that problems being a problem goes away. That the energy that resists this appearance or seeks for a better one, that kind of existential angsty energy seems to disappear. Yeah. And there's less of a need, there seems to be less of a need to prove or improve to that kind of seeking energy for a better experience, basically. There's no one to seek for a better experience, and there is no experience to seek for. So what is seemingly happening is normalcy and naturalness. The body just finds its own way of expressing itself. It has its own unique way of expressing itself, and it's quite natural and simple and ordinary.
Mm. Yeah.
There can be a neurotic, and this, I guess, this is the last thing I'll say about it in responding to you, but there can be, yes, it seems like when there's this seeking energy, it's a neurosis. It's a deep neurosis of never feeling satisfied, never quite feeling like this is enough or that this is whole or good enough for me. And so it's this neurotic seeking, almost addictive kind of energy, really. However subtle or gross that might appear, everybody that feels that way is expressing like that. And the collapse of that is not it's not the collapse of all pain, but it is the collapse of seeking for a better experience and resisting the present one. But there might still be pain and, dealing with pain, so to speak. But that's just purely body, physiological and neurological situation.
Just to philosophize, like, if you look at the modern day challenges, like stress is so normal, it's even accepted that it is normal. But as human beings are subjected to stress when there is threat for living, and this threat is not coming from the danger coming as predators or anything. The stress is being induced by the mind. And if you actually dig into the details of why we are feeling stressed, it's because I don't want to feel ashamed. I don't want to feel like I'm a loser. I don't want to feel like I'm a failure.
Yeah.
And the fear of anticipation of pain, it's all psychological suffering what we go through. And somehow the spiritual, the understanding of this is there is an I who is in the center of everything.
Right.
And this I, the I is creating waves of illusion of stories which it creates, and it creates a lot of suffering. And somehow the teachings are about, okay, possibly if we remove this I, and then there is a collapse of all the stories. I'm just philosophizing, like
Yeah. I think all of that, the stresses and the ruminations, the lingering and seemingly stagnating thoughts, opinions, beliefs, the storytelling of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, all of that, a lot of it would seem to stem from the misconception that there is someone, that there is a person, that it all revolves around that person. And this is, of course, the illusion, yes. In the cutting, sort of pulling it from the roots, basically. That's what this exposure seems to be about, is pulling the illusion from the roots. It's not necessarily addressing the stories that might be coming up. Rather, it is exposing that no one is at the center of any of that. That's the root. The root is that there is actually no one. There's no self. There's no separate self. There's no separation, actually. No, that's the most total uprooting of an illusion that's not really there. And so the storytelling is just storytelling. It's not actually orbiting around someone. And this that can seem to be a great relief. And I know that suggests cause and effect. It can't not do in the language of it, but it's actually the whole sense of separate things causing and affecting falling apart too. But in the sense, the interpretation, it seems like that offers a great relief. The impersonal exposure that nothing is wrong, nothing is right. There's no doer or owner, so no one made a right or wrong step because no one made a step. And this is already unconditional love. Yeah, energetically and existentially confronting, as it might seem, it is compassion. The compassionate pointing out that this is home. Let's see. Let's see what's going on YouTube, huh?
Mhm.
Stephen asks, welcome, Stephen. Since light and sound take time to travel, plus the additional processing time our brain needs, what is appearing, or what you call immediacy, is actually the past, right? Right. That would seem to be, understandably and naturally, an interpretation of this reality from what seems to be a subjective point of view, that someone is interpreting this reality as something timely, as Einstein pointed out all those years ago, in the timeless time of this, that time is relative. Yeah, time is relative. There is actually, time isn't actually as real as it seems to be, and continuity is fundamentally an illusion. So to tell stories about light and matter, energy, gravity, and things happening is to abstract this reality into a fragmented one. But actually, without that kind of subjective point of view, there are no things. There's no separate lights, separate matter, separate energy, separate this, that, or the other. There's only this immediacy. It's completely timeless. But that's not centralized. It's not located or orientated. It's totally without location. That can't be comprehended. This doesn't comprehend it. Nothing does. Those words speak from nowhere. It's all this, timelessly this, no matter how timely it seems to be. Welcome, Eunice Caracas, who asks, feeling of separation constantly appears and disappears throughout the day, but sometimes get caught up in the story. Old habit persists. Will this go away? Does watching something delay end? So there is no delay. There's no speeding up or slowing down a process towards the absence of me, because the absence of me is not a destination in the future. It's this already without the waiting for it. And that's kind of backwards, really. It's backwards to the way it looks like to a dream, which imagines that there are events happening in the present and the future. But that is its reality, and its reality is that. So if it's not there, then there's no then to wait for. So it's waiting for something that doesn't actually exist and it doesn't live in the future. So it's not a happening, it's not an event. The feelings of separateness or the stories or whatever else might seem to appear are in no way an obstacle to this appearance. They are this appearance, just seeming to present that way. There's nothing wrong with this. In its own storyline and lifetime, it's been living on the notion that there's a problem to be solved, or that it's a problem. I'm a problem. I need to fix myself, better myself, improve myself. This is just the cyclic storytelling energy. And it's living on the notion that it's a problem or that something needs to change or be different. And compassionately so, this is denied. There's no problem. There's nothing wrong. Nothing is in the way. There's no one to revere or to be attracted or repulsed to or by. It just is the openness. It's all openness. And it's all impersonal and unowned. Razor from Canada, Toronto, I believe. Hello there. Greetings and cheers. Asks, may I ask you, sharing your experience with ancient yogic practice, protocol of Shivambu Kalpa, and the benefits for the organism system? I have never got into that particular practice. Yes, so I can't say anything about it, I'm afraid. I don't know if the benefits are legit or not. Yeah. I'm familiar with what it is, but I haven't practiced it. And I'm not really interested. Yeah, I don't want to dismiss or deny it as a potentially beneficial thing for the organism. Maybe that is apparent, but I wouldn't claim to know. Yeah. Hello, Tiggs. Hello, Tiggs. Can't be possible that someone as lovely as our Alexis doesn't exist. How sweet you are for saying that. Abby from North Carolina, my dear friend. Hello there. Thanks for checking in. Lovely to hear from you as well. Hello, life, living life already. Much love to you all. Feel free to ask anything, say anything, share anything. You can drop into a Zoom as well at any point. Nothing required. I might just stop and have a little advertisement for this weekend. I am in London as it happens. There are still spaces to hang out if anyone would like to, who's in London or in the UK this weekend. And also there is the Alexis and Tobias No Show, which is streaming live on Zoom and YouTube this Saturday and every Saturday from 7 p.m. till 8:30 p.m. in GMT. That's Greenwich Mean Time. It's a lot of fun. We're just there to hang out and play and celebrate and talk with people about this indescribable message of freedom. Yeah. all are welcome as you are. Donation based.
I have my finger hovering over the mute button here. Like,
I
there's
noticed.
this internal dialogue of like, I should say something, and there should be content in the video, and this is such like
Oh.
a this is such an amazing opportunity. I shouldn't just sit here passively and listen. And then, of course, there's no chooser, there's no choice, there's no me, anyways. And so it's fun to kind of watch this whole play, and I feel serious about this, this search, but I also feel like very light and playful about it. And it seems to be
Yeah.
both, it's like,
Yeah.
I really want this truth. My gosh, I've been looking for this, since I was 19, like 35 years. So there's this intensity, but basically it's all about really getting rid of suffering in a way, like
Mm-hmm.
the me that is causing the suffering. But so it's sort of back and forth. I find myself throughout the day being very light and laughing and feeling like, oh, so much love, but then also this intensity of like, it's got to be, righteous and truthful, and something pristine or divine, or something special, basically, right? So but I don't know.
Isn't it
When I
amazing? Isn't it
uh,
amazing how
yeah.
all of this just appears in its own unique and fresh way? Yeah.
Yeah, it just keeps coming, like so much coming out of the system, like even if I don't express it, it's in there. I can feel it like bubbling, percolating or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Something Tobias said the other day, it's like, there doesn't have to be resolution, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh gosh, that's so true, nothing has to happen. And yet, of course, there's the expectation that, you know, we're on a path and there will be resolution and things will go away, things will change, things will be different. There'll be like a happy ending to the story. And then I'm like, hell no, there's no guarantees, no promises. Like anything, of course, can happen. It could be a real shit show at the very end, you don't know. It's the real is always the unexpected, and
Mm.
so
Yeah, and there's no end, is there? There's no end or beginning.
yeah.
There's just this, timelessly this.
uh,
It never ends, it never began. It
yeah,
never ends. It's only this.
it's very interesting. I like when you speak about like the in Buddhism, I think they say there are like two arrows, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like what happens, let's say, and then the me that's superimposed on top of what happens. It's sort of narrating, and I'm always sort of aware of that commentary that's happening, and a slight control, like, am I doing it right? Is it?
Mm. Hmm.
Yeah. So, but it can't be changed. It's just there for now, at least. I mean,
Yeah, it's just the vibrancy appearing as beliefs and storytelling.
hmm
And there's this kind of problem solving energy that seems to be embedded.
yeah.
And what is revealed is that there isn't a problem to solve. So and then it's kind of looking for something and there's nothing to find.
Hmm.
So it can just play out in a way. I'm not suggesting that someone can allow that. It already is playing out, but it's kind of in this kind of loopy energy, convinced that there's something that needs to happen or change or be different.
hmm
But it can just play out.
Yeah. Hmm.
Because when it's really clear that that's not happening to anyone and no one's doing that and it's not even revolving around someone, it just kind of seems to lose its weight. its heaviness, its seriousness and importance, its significance, and its substantiality. So then it just doesn't, in the most wonderful way, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah. That's beautiful. That
Yeah.
feels like freedom.
Right, right.
Yeah, because the mattering feels so heavy sometimes, you know?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I have to get this right. The story tells itself, I have to get this right. And yet there isn't an I to actually get it right or wrong.
Yeah,
So
whatever.
yeah, it's just storytelling saying, I have to get this right or wrong. I have to get it right, sorry, not wrong. I must get it right.
Yeah.
But the storytelling doesn't actually have an owner.
Yeah. I like lately how you've been talking about a tornado. There's just all this energy, you know, happening and spinning and twirling and whatnot, but there's nothing in the center. Never was a center.
Yeah,
Just emptiness.
yes.
Shunyata.
That's right. That's right. A swirling cosmic vortex,
Yeah.
which has no charge, like no
Mm,
origin or source from where it came. It's total void,
mm.
seeming to be something. Yeah.
I remember once Tony was saying about when I had a call with him, he told me that I sense a kind of unraveling happening on the other side, you know? Is it like when these stories they melt away, when this idea about this is me, it's exposed, and uh, then the weight around this me also, like the whole nervous system feeds on this data about me, like it's built, the whole story has built this system.
Mm.
But when you have seen there is nobody in the center, there is no one in the center, but still there is this charge, you know, like which is accumulated.
Yeah.
And then do you think also it takes its own turn to collapse like stories, you know, like whatever is accumulated until it releases the charge completely?
Yeah, it can seem that way. It really is actually because continuity is in that framework. So when it seems like that framework is happening, whatever appears to be happening seems to be continuous. So even the whole sense of that being dismantled seems like it's happening in time, but actually it's timeline falling apart. But yes, that can seem to be gradually kind of collapsing and little bits of debris falling off, which would be like beliefs and opinions and misconceptions. And energetically, this whole swirling vortex can seem to be dying out, dying down. That can seem like it's fading, or it can seem like it's, sparking. There's no rules, of course, but yeah, it can seem gradual or sudden.
The collapsing is part of the story too, right?
Yeah, totally. It implies that there's a something that's happening that could stop happening. So it's still in
Mm-hmm.
this whirlwind.
Yeah, but it never was.
Yeah, it never is.
Never is. Good correction.
I mean, that's the wonder of this is that, I haven't shown up tonight to tell
Mm.
anyone that you might fall away. Like I really
If you
you
did the
know,
right thing.
like there is absolutely no wish to
Yeah.
imply that there's going to be an event or a happening called the falling away of me. Because then
Yeah.
it's just another path headed somewhere, and it seems
Mm.
like a betrayal or even a cruelty to just kind of
Mm.
feed that notion that it's going to
Mm.
go away, that it's going
Mm.
to change. There's no
Mm-hmm.
wish to give that hope because
Right.
it's just an illusion. Yeah, yeah,
Hope implies path and future and
yes, yes,
becoming.
Yeah.
No one has shown up tonight.
Yeah. No one's shown up.
The no show.
The no show, exactly. Yeah.
Do you also like enjoy, I mean, enjoy, not enjoy, is there curiosity in your side? Like there's a lot of non-duality teachings, if you look at that, and maybe when there is a dead man listening to this and people are talking about how to die, maybe there could be a bit of a sense of humor, like, oh, look what they're talking about. Yeah. Do you enjoy this part? Or is there something like that?
Like the initials RS?
Ah,
The beloved RS.
I don't know. I think it's, yeah. I mean, I think I need a bit more specification on that question to really answer it.
Do you mean
But
like other teachers? Does he enjoy watching other teachers talk about like duality or like teacher?
Let's see if this guy is legit or not. It's like,
oh, right. No, I mean, I in a way, I don't really see it. I don't really see it that way anymore. I don't see
No, there's no one there.
legitimate. Yeah, I don't see legitimate teachers here and illegitimate teachers there. And legitimate non-duality speakers here and illegitimate. It's just it's all dualistic and comparing and really everybody is already positionlessly uttering, but some appear to be speaking from a position of knowing, a position of having something or knowing something. And I say that with total equanimous neutrality. Like if that's what's happening, that's what's happening. There's no sense that that's more or less anything.
Yeah.
Like there's no sense that that's better or worse, more or less, because at the end of the day, everything is equally this.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's all
so
innocent, right?
yeah, it's
Innocent,
total,
like
total
empty of
innocence.
self. And
It's
yeah.
total innocence. Yeah.
Yeah. Every so often, Adi Ashanti pops up on my YouTube, and I think, gosh, there's something about him that's so like beautiful, and I feel like he has so much integrity. And he definitely will speak about no self, but then he, of course, he's also offering, practices and things like that. And I think I can't believe that he's like ill-intended or something, or that he's trying to make money off of it or something. And then I
Yeah,
think it's just nothing again. It's just nothing speaking through that form.
of course.
And for whatever reason, that's what's being said, and it's still beautiful and helpful apparently, in the story.
Mm.
Many people obviously, benefit from his teachings or Muji or anybody like that. But yeah, I guess it's all the different flavors of this, it's all this. But
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of like to listen to lots of teachers just to see sort of my reaction too,
Mhm.
or to sort of test myself, like, oh, let's see, do I still believe that, or does that sound right, or does that resonate,
Mhm. Mhm.
or whatnot. But I mean, yeah, it's kind of interesting. I think I remember Tony saying like something basically like the people that go to the Vatican and they go to hear the Pope, like they don't have a choice, right? They just go there, and the
Yeah.
Pope comes out and it's very like ceremonial, and everyone's like, ah, the Pope, and he says like, love thy neighbor. They're like, it's like it's such simple with it's so simple, it's not like he's really saying anything that profound. And I
Yeah.
used to be Catholic, so nothing against the Pope, but it was the point that they don't have a choice. No one has a choice. No one's doing it. There's just adoration for no reason. There's just love, really, and devotion of other people in a way, and it's beautiful and kind of like Leela, divine Leela. It's kind of
Totally.
funny
Totally.
too. Like, oh gosh, what are we all going to
Totally.
Vatican?
Well,
St. Peter's Square.
it's all the divine. It's all
Yeah.
the divine. The divine is absolute. It's unconditional.
I just have a question here, like based on that, let's say I'm going to a doctor, yeah, and before going to the doctor, of course, I would like to do my homework, like see who is
Oh, I
legit, who
see.
is not, because not all the doctors will heal in the right time. Sometimes people do their thing for their own intentions, maybe they want you to come back again and again, like
Mm.
but there is something inside that weighs down using your rational thing, like, hey, am I going somewhere, or is this guy, like he wants me again and again to be here, or he just enjoys? Because sometimes I even notice, like, sometimes it happens, people have a very good way of expressing things, even they don't have the experience. They could even express more beautifully than the person who had an experience, because they're very good at writing, they're good at very speaking, and they can
Yes.
attract more people.
Mm.
And this is what my thinking is about. Okay, there could be a person, so-called, who has the self that's collapsed. And when he was sharing his experience, the people who caught his teachings and they wrote books about this,
Mm.
then it created an illusion of there is a path, there is to go somewhere, and then they created the whole system out of it. But it has
Right.
nothing to do with the actual experience of the person who is talking it about,
Yeah, that can happen, yes.
Yeah. But how do you distinguish between, like, okay, there is legit and there is not so legit, like, but there is something that wants to distinguish between these two, right?
Yeah, it depends what we're talking about in terms of legit. Like, I think non-duality is essentially this, that there's no duality of any kind. There isn't really separation. There isn't really any polarity or duality is actually fundamentally not real, and that would include now and then, here and there, me and you, cause and effect, subject, object, and any other imaginable polarity is seen to be real and distant, separated, and that's it really. And if now and then and here and there is in that dualistic framework, and non-duality is essentially it's a lousy term because it's saying that there's duality which isn't. So it's like in a way it's a flawed term, but no term is ever going to elaborate on this. But if now and then and here and there is in that, then there's just no path. There's no path. There's no journey and destination without separation, without duality. And that's all that non-duality is proposing. It's not proposing that anything is right or wrong, because that's another polarity. It's not proposing that anything is more or less, again, another one. So it's just pointing out what is and is not, the absolute. But there can be the appearance of anything and everything which appears as teachings and practices, rites, rituals, processes, and all that stuff, and it just is all what it is. And there may be also, and now in the storyline, there may be the appearance of people who look as though they've achieved something and that they can bestow that upon others. And that's when it becomes a bit more relational and dualistic, hence the story. And that might lead to a better experience. And that does seem very true to what seems to be a subject, a person who's going in time towards better experiences. So if it's like, I go to a yoga class and I keep on, working on my body, I become more flexible, more strong, maybe a little bit more peaceful as well, because we're doing meditation and shavasana and all that stuff. It's like these physiological benefits seem to set in the cause and effect timeline. And that seems to be legit in the appearance. But what I would suggest is not legit, and I don't mean it with any insincerity whatsoever, but is the claim that someone can become enlightened, that there's a person that can actually attain personal enlightenment as a state or an experience. And I would propose that's not legitimate, because what seems to be revealed, impersonally speaking, is that there is no person. There isn't actually a person to be unenlightened, let alone enlightened. There isn't a person. So it's an illusion. And it seems to be talking from a misconception. And I don't mean that with any disrespect to teachers and speakers. A lot of them I do think are very, very sweet, very sincere, absolutely lovely, heart of gold. So many of them. So no disrespect at all. But it seems like confusing, and it can seem confusing to those who are so in their own world of feeling suffering, really sincerely looking for an answer to that suffering. And if the that which appears to be a teacher of experience and knowing something is kind of validating that that entity can do something, go somewhere, achieve. It's not. It kind of. I mean, it's subject to criticism in the sincerest way, because what is absolutely revealed is that there isn't a person to live or die, to fall away, or to carry on riding the turbulent waves of samsara. There is only this unconditional love. It's so
Would you
total.
call it? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, sorry. Would you call that sort of like a half truth in a way? Because I would say it's more positive than it is negative, even though it's dualistic. But like, for example, Sundar would know that I've started doing Kundalini yoga at his yoga center. And it's like for so many years, I didn't really incorporate breath too much. And I've been doing like the breath of fire and just more pranayama. And like it's really changed my yoga and my meditation,
Mm-hmm.
even my singing afterwards. And I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, why didn't I? Well, I know why I didn't actually do it before, because my one of my first teachers, he was very much about letting go of control and letting go of the breath and not doing anything. It was very passive. It was all about acceptance. And now I feel like I don't feel like I'm controlling the breath. It really, when it starts going, it's happening by itself. It's like the body's just going through this beautiful like process. Um, and that's okay. Everything has like its own timing and whatnot. But anyways, I guess just to say that like in the story, of course, of cause and effect, in the story, apparently a couple months ago, I just sort of learned more about this pranayama or this breath of fire, and apparently in the cause and effect story, it's affected my morning practice a lot, like
Yes.
in a beneficial, positive way. So,
Yes.
and in my mind, it also affects my sort of understanding or my experience of non-duality. Not that it's an experience, but when I go deeper in that meditation, everything feels more vast. And then when I hear like, oh, all there is this, it feels like, yes, this is just one life, one energy, one aliveness. It's impersonal. The sense of self isn't so predominant. It's just this
Mm-hmm.
sort of pulsation or something, a throbbing, if you will. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's there's the relative and the absolute in that.
Mm-hmm.
The relative that there's, breath work and exercises happening which seem to be calming the nervous system, leading to a more relaxed bodily expression, etc. And then
Mm-hmm.
there's the absolute, which is only ever this, whether it's pain or pleasure, whether
Right.
it's ecstasy or agony, whether it's joy or sorrow, it's unpolarized. That's the absolute. So the absolute doesn't deny, not really, it doesn't really deny that there's still the enjoyment, the preferences, the
Mm-hmm.
exercises, the basic practical things of and enjoyable things as well. It is all what is. Yeah. Yeah. So they're both, it's all held as it were. Yes.
Yeah. The other day as well, I don't know, was just sitting here with my dog, I guess, and I thought, oh, suffering is this, and it's like, gosh, the mind or the ego, whatever it is, it's so tricky, it's so clever that it can't help itself. It's always looking for, there's pleasure, pain, right? It's always looking for pleasure.
Mm.
Like it's always just like, how can I apply, as you say, you can't apply non-duality, right?
Mhm.
But the mind will always try to apply it in order to reduce suffering or to increase pleasure or
Right.
whatnot. And it was like it was like sort of a gutting, just sort of a moment of like defeat, of like, what, suffering is this too. And if you keep running from suffering, you're running from this, you're running from this, there's just this. It's still dualistic, it's still a story, but it was and again, it can't be used in order to find bliss or happiness or something. But again, it was sort of like a deepening and an acceptance. As soon as I said suffering is this, there was sort of a relief, which actually brought pleasure in a way. Like just stop fighting what is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. The cosmic battle.
Philip, we're gonna start something new. We're gonna start applied non-duality, a new course. How to apply non-duality for your practical problems.
Oh, oh.
How about applied duality? You can't apply it, or something like that.
Applied duality, yeah. That's what it is. That's
Or
what
applied
it
non-duality. Sorry, not applied.
is. Yeah. I'm going to do a quick fire answer to a couple of things on YouTube,
Sure.
and then I'll wrap this up. Kane777, hello there. Could you talk about the concept of God from your point of view? So what could be said is that God is a way, it would seem, of seeing the appearance from a subjective point of view in a religious way. So yes, it's as though it looks like there's this beyond vast entity overseeing the universe, or that it could even see it as the universe, but I am apart from that. And I am the microcosm and God is the macrocosm. That's what the word God usually seems to mean. Obviously, there's so many different ways of interpreting that word, and most of them are loaded with spiritual and religious connotations. But what if we said that instead of God, there's just the divine or the beloved, and that is actually everything? That's not individualistic or entitied. It's not personal because it's absolute. It's everything. That is the nameless, really. It can't be named God or divine, really, or Brahman or Atman or whatever else. It is everything. It's all there is, yeah. Nothing knows that, therefore. Monkling Everjet. Hello there. Do you love gaining followers and money? And is it delightful that you are making money out of nothing? So there is fun to be had, apparently, in and around these meetings. And yes, apparently, in the appearance, bills need paying. And, travel is fun, and a lot of people appreciate this. And so when people are able to donate and pay towards my apparent livelihood, yes, this is greatly appreciated. But there can be the assumption that Alexis is a millionaire or something, and I can say at this point in time that is not true. And a lot of what I do is totally donation based, yeah. But for those who are able and willing to support, it is greatly appreciated. This simply happens out of the love of expressing an indescribable message of freedom, which comes from nowhere and no one, and therefore it goes to nowhere and no one. No recipients to the boundless expression of this total freedom and love. It's unpolarized, it's boundless, and it's everything. That's all. That's all. Much love.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for coming, guys. It's lovely to chat with you.
Let's see if we can.
Right. Lovely to see you all.
Yes.
Much, much love. Maybe see some of you in London or on the No Show this Saturday. And in Prague the weekend after that. Lots happening in between too. I have for one-to-ones and public Zooms. People can message, email, WhatsApp. Check out the website for more info. And see you all soon. Take care.
Namaste.
Namaste.
No more stay.